Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mr. Determined, and thank you so much for joining me. It's been a while since I made a video. Just really been focusing on trading, really, just doing my own thing. And I figured I'd create another one today since it was CPI day, the day that ICT says if you're a beginner, if you're a new person that just got into this, that's the day you definitely don't want to do anything during that specific news impact day. And he's right. Even myself, I usually just wait a couple minutes. However, there was a setup that I didn't want to pass out, or excuse me, pass on by, and I ended up taking it, and it was good. So to start off, I wanted to show you guys the trade that I didn't take, and you can see here the SPOOs ran and rated higher. I took out buy stops, and then headed lower here, usually when this red line shows, by this time I'm usually done by then. I don't want to do anything. Also, because we rated higher, especially during CPI, um, my bias was is definitely bullish, but the way this market was going, especially like I said, right with CPI, it can change things. And so I decided not to do anything here with SPOOs or Nasdaq. Instead, I actually traded a pound dollar, and it just looked way more better. And you'll see what I mean right now by it just looked better, and that's kind of what it is with trading, right? Now, obviously, I trade a few pairs, two pairs, euro dollar and pound dollar. That's it, and then SPOOs and Nasdaq. Those are the pairs I watch. Now, I didn't start that way initially. I started with just SPOOs and euro dollar, and then I added pound dollar, Nasdaq. Either way, Nasdaq I kind of was already watching, but not trading it, and so I really wasn't paying too much attention to it. But anyways, you can see in here we had a move up, went down, and then this is actually the one where ICT took. He took this trade in here, right in there, sold it, sold here, and then took profit in this area right here. So that was pretty good for him. Like I said, that just wasn't up to my taste. Instead, I ended up taking pound dollar trade, and you'll see why. Now, I kind of did the same thing as euro dollar here, where it rated the highs up here. We had already taken out huge double tops around this area here, and it happened. That happened there. Um, but if you look at pound dollar here, we rated London session, rated double tops here during CPI. You can see how it happened right after the news, rallied higher, took that out. So that was a smoke screen that occurred in the market. And then we quickly ran down, went in here. Now this is actually a breaker block on the 60-minute time frame. And I can, well, I won't show you. I'll just let you guys do that in your own charts. You can look at this on the 60-minute. That's the breaker block. And anyways, you can see the market headed straight down here, broke through this area. That's a market structure shift. And you can see here is the move in here. Now, I did get a little bit in this move in here, and then I ended up getting out in here right after stock market or before stock market open. I saw the market rally up in this fair value gap in here, and I ended up trading that as well. Sold it and took some points in here. And after that, that was pretty much it. That was my whole morning. Now, if you look at this on the 2 minute, that's really where I was focused on. You'll see it looks a lot better. And you can see this is where reason why I took a trade here, sold it off right there, and then took another trade in here, and was able to get some nice points. Now, after that, I was pretty much done with the morning. That was pretty much it. And you can see how the market continued on. It used this whole breaker block in here where it held, and you can see it made high, higher high, lower high, and then you can see it continued lower. And then here is the fair value gap. As a matter of fact, this is an entry in this silver bullet area as a silver bullet, and that could have been a nice sell too. But like I said, usually once I'm done taking my points, um, uh, by then I'm kind of mentally fatigued, and I don't have the mental capacity to to continue trading. Right, especially after CPI numbers. I was really focused right after this move, especially on pound dollar. I was looking, like I said, I was looking at the other pairs, but this is the only one that I really like. The way it just set up, it just looked really nice compared to the other ones. Like I said, like euro dollar here, it's really crappy. You know, and then obviously the SPOOs over here. There's just no setup in here really as far as the 2022 model. Unless you would have waited for this here, this is the somewhat of the 2022 model. For me, it's not the uh, exact model that I like to trade. This is more like a continuation model for me, and but it still would have worked out, right? Because you're trading against the opposing liquidity that was taken, and that's really what ICT talks about, and that's during his silver bullet speech. But anyways, like I said, you can see pound dollar was just the much more beautiful prospect to take, and especially because we had not rated the lows here, and I think that was actually another thing I was looking at. Euro dollar, same thing. We had not rated the lows here, so I did like it. I just didn't like the setup. Spoos was crazy about it. Is what many times if you're brand new it throws you off is that it'll raid the lows of London, and that's kind of what it did. It rated the highs first, then the lows, and then again the highs, and then it started going lower. And so, um, once again, if I'm getting confused, if you're new and that confuses you, then we're on the same boat here. However, once all this happens and I see this happening, obviously by this time I was already done trading, but being able to see this, I do, in my mind, I do see this as a short position and not long, especially because there's double bottoms right here, so you can see that happen nicely. Anyways, the lows from London were down here, so that was really where it would have been very nice to target, and we have an area here. Anyways, like I said, at that point, I'm not really waiting for all this, and because once again, and actually, I don't think I mentioned it, but the reason why I took trade here and not waited until the 10 a.m. Silver bullet start time was really because there was no red news. So I noticed usually taking this trade in here, I really did not think the market would have gone higher, which because it had already arrived in here, and there was no need for the market to go up here. You can see this whole area right in here. It was already balanced to me, and so that's that way. When I took a trade here, I took the trade right here. I had my stop right above that, right in here, this high, and then as you can see, this thing quickly went straight down, and it was just a no pain trade. And I was just really happy with that. Like I said, I had already taken another trade in here actually when it did this. It came back down in here. I'd already taken something here, so I was really happy with what I did today. And there's just no need for me to sit in front of the screen and have to wait for all this price action here, especially because it's just very sloppy. The good thing is that taking notes, and that's number one thing, right? You gotta take notes. You gotta take the notes and kind of look at this and be like, all right, well, what if I would have taken a break from the stock market open to the 10 a.m. Take a break and see what happens. If you miss the move, then you miss it. But if not, then you can see this happening right in here. A very nice trade opportunity that would have been, and you can see it quickly went straight down from there on and did not look back at all. I mean, maybe a little bit here, this little retracement, but you can see it just continued making lower lows until it took out the rest of the liquidity down in here. But anyways, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and learned here a little bit about what the trade I took and